Hi everyone, and welcome to our second RE lesson, again studying Judaism. Our learning objective is Jewish festivals. We're looking at Passover and Pesach. So Passover stroke Pesach. For Jewish people, Passover is a big celebration of freedom and life. Pesach is Passover in Hebrew, so it means the same thing, which is spoken in Israel and in many Jewish communities around the world. The Passover celebrations last for several days. This year, Passover will start on Saturday, the 27th of March. But what is Passover and why is it celebrated in Judaism? So the story of Passover. Now, Passover is a celebration of the freedom of the Jewish people from Egypt led by Moses. It's a story that can be found in the book of Exodus, chapter 12, in the Torah. Now, I say let's watch the story. If you open up the attached document on the website, you can follow that web link and you can watch the video from there. So the story of Passover. The name Passover comes from the story of Exodus, where God is said to have told Moses to tell the Israelites to paint lamb's blood on their doorposts. This way the angel would know that the Jewish people lived there and it would pass over that house and not kill the firstborn. Now, the general story goes that the Israelites were in Egypt and that they were slaves to the pharaohs of Egypt, the rulers of Egypt. And Moses kept asking the pharaoh to let his people go, and the pharaoh kept refusing. So God brought plague after plague after plague upon the Egyptian people. And yet still the pharaoh refused to let the Jewish people go. So in the end, the angel of death came down, and the angel of death killed the firstborn in every house in Egypt. But in order for the angel of death to avoid killing the Jews, they put lamb's blood on the front door so that the angel of death passed over that house and didn't kill their firstborn. It caused such devastation and such an outcry and heartache in Egypt that the pharaoh finally gave in and let the Jewish people leave, release them from their slavery. However, on their journey, the pharaoh changed his mind and then decided to start chasing after them to go and bring them back. Now, the Jews found themselves boxed in because they had the Pharaoh's army behind them, chasing after them, and they had the Red Sea in the front. And this is where the story of Moses parting the Red Sea comes in. That he asked for God's power to open up the water to create a land bridge where the Israelites could then pass through and get into what is now Israel. As they had finished, the Red Sea waters then crashed back in over the top, killing the Jewish army that was killing the Egyptian army that was following them. Now, Jewish people aren't allowed to eat during Passover. It's because Israelites had to leave Egypt so quickly they didn't have time to let their bread rise. So food products that have risen are forbidden during Passover. So Passover traditions. To prepare for Passover, people clean their houses very carefully and make sure they get rid of any crumbs of clements. These are crumbs of food that have been allowed to rise, such as bread. On the evening before Passover starts, Jews have a special service called a Seder. That means order. This takes place over a meal with family and friends at home. During the meal, the story of Exodus is told. That's the story I've just been telling you there about the Israelites leaving Egypt. It's told from a book called the Haggadah, which means narration, story. Everybody takes part in reading from the Haggadah, and some parts are read in Hebrew and some parts are read in English. During Passover, Jews remember how their ancestors left slavery behind them when they were led out of Egypt by Moses. Passover is celebrated with a series of rituals. Each ritual symbolizes a different part of that story. So, at the beginning, this is Passover traditions, this is Seder. Now, at the beginning of Passover in the evening, family and friends will get together for a special meal called Seder. There's a special Seder plate which has certain things on it. So there's a lamb bone on there. This symbolizes the sacrifice and blood from the lamb that was used on the doorposts that allowed the angel of death to pass over. A roasted egg. This is symbolic of sacrifice, but also of the Israelites' determination when they were going through such a difficult time, as the cooked egg is hard. Green vegetables to dip in salt water. The green vegetables are a reference to new life, while the salt water symbolizes the Israelite slaves' tears. Bitter herbs symbolizes the bitter suffering that the Israelites had to go through, and charoset is a paste of chopped apples, walnuts, and wine, and this is a symbol of the material used by the Israelites to make bricks while they were working as slaves for the Egyptians. So your task today is to complete this sheet here on the cedar plate. So what you've got here are each of the objects, and they're labelled up, and what you need to do then is to write down the meaning. Why have those particular things been used? So for example, karpas, a vegetable dipped in salt water. Well, why is it there? So if you go back through what I've just been going through, the answers are in the presentation. Now, Passover traditions. At the Seder meal, matzot bread is often eaten. Now, matzot breads are flat, unrisen breads, so a little bit like a naan, for example. To remember how the Israelites in Egypt had to flee so quickly that their bread didn't have time to rise. 3 matzot breads are placed on top of each other. The middle matzah is broken and the biggest piece is hidden. Children hunt for the matzah to win a prize. 4 small glasses of wine are also drunk during the Seder meal. People have different ideas about what this symbolises. Some people think that the wine is a symbol of freedom. They believe that the 4 cups represent 4 promises made by God to save and protect the Israelites. Summary video. So there is a video here again to watch, again on the document that is on the school website. If you open that up, you'll be able to follow these links. Charaset. Now, if you ever want to have a go at making this, it's chopped apples, chopped walnuts, raisins, wine, and a teaspoon of brown sugar. You mix them all together in a bowl, and hopefully you enjoy it. Serve with flatbread. Wine or Vimto is probably a good replacement for that, okay? Your parents, however, might choose wine. Again, there's a video then on traditional Passover music, and that is on the link that I have also placed on the school website. And that's it, guys. Enjoy. Cheerio.